Depltes, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you. Or Trump abandoned Arab allies in the Middle East? This is the question a lot of people are asking, because after Iran intensified its strikes, Iran has declared a non-stop strike. So they are doing it 24/7. The Middle East is now on fire. They are not knowing peace. And everybody expects that by now, Trump will be there with all the things that they need to protect the people in the Middle East. But since there is a different narrative, because looking at the report that is coming, this is not in the favor of the Arabs, the people in the Middle East. And they're angry. According to report, the Arabs are angry at Donald Trump because this is the time they need Donald Trump to be there to protect them. Report by CBS News and Middle East Eye say Gulf states have asked Washington to urgently speed up supplies, but deliveries may not arrive quickly enough as the conflict intensifies. U.S. officials, including War Secretary, indicated that while the U.S. could help partners raise supply, American forces will be prioritized first. Meanwhile, Iranian attacks have continued hitting regional targets, forcing countries like the UAE, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia to burn through costly missile interceptors in just days of fighting. There is another one that came out, and they're saying that even before the strike began, Trump never informed them that there's going to be this bombardment, only for them to be left on their own to bear a cost they never budgeted for. And now they're talking about looking at the Americans first, because they have to take care of themselves before they will not come and look at them. And this is what is making these people very angry, because they believe that as long as they didn't budget, they were not informed or included in the decision making before striking, they expected that the United States of America will give them the protection that they need for themselves against the attacks that are coming from Iran. But that didn't happen. How can you bring me into Wahala and you will not be there to protect me? And now that the Wahala and the fire is everywhere, you are talking about taking care of yourself first. It's like now everybody for himself will cry your own cry. That is the message that they are sending to these people.
Well, Qatar and the rest of the GCC countries, Gulf Council Cooperation countries, they have been holding a strategic relationships with the United States of America over the past 80 years.
Yeah.
Now the Gulf states feel, not just Qatar, the Gulf states feel that the United States betrayed them. They are not defending them against the Iranian missiles, but the United States, from their perspective, only defending Israel and supporting Israel, despite the fact that this war is not America's war. This war is rather Benjamin Netanyahu's war. He he's attempting to drag the Gulf states into a war against Iran. And he, as you showed in your report, also trying to drag Turkey into this conflict. This is not the Gulf states war. This is not the Turkey's war. This is only and solely Benjamin Netanyahu's war.
The United States only uses Gulf Arab states. We don't benefit them. An alliance is supposed to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And the truth has come out now, where we compelled these people to buy weaponry from us, to spend billions and billions of dollars on the promise that we would be there for them in their time of need. But they are being abandoned by the United States as we speak. They are being subjected to attacks, punishing attacks from the Iranians. They're expending their munitions and are asking the United States to, resupply them. But the United States isn't answering that call. Instead, we're supplying ourselves and resupplying our number one client, which is the state of Israel. And by this time, it should be apparent to every Gulf Arab state that they simply don't matter. They exist to serve Israel. And Israel comes first and foremost. There is no alliance to the United States. And these governments are starting to wake up to that reality. And at some point in time, the people are going to wake up to that reality. And when that happens, these governments may be in risk of collapsing themselves, the irony of them supporting a regime change operation against Iran that sets in motion events that results in their regimes being removed from power.
What is the damage right now to Israel and to U.S. bases in the Gulf, do you think?
Oh, well, the bases in the Gulf, I wish I had kept the window open that I was reading, but basically at least 3 of the bases have been devastated. The 5th Fleet headquarters, I am told, and if you look at the satellite imagery that you can find on open source information, it looks like, actually the base in Bahrain looks like Gaza. It's completely moonscape. So the American 5th Fleet, now I don't know if there's any, because I think we might have evacuated that base before this started, so I don't want to say there's casualties because I don't know. But just looking at those satellite images, it looks like it's been flattened, and that's a very expensive base that you and I paid for, and that was the sort of the hub for the U.S. Navy in the Middle East for many years, and it has been completely taken offline. And I have serious doubt. I was talking also to a Middle East expert not long ago, and he was saying that with these bases being obliterated, basically, to use a term, essentially he doesn't think, because he thinks the Arabs are going to be so irate with us for having kicked over this hornet's nest, because it is not going to end anytime soon. His belief is that once the war does end or settles down enough for us to say, hey, we're good, we're done, the Arabs are going to say, you're not building back in our countries anymore. So
why would they? We didn't defend them. I mean, this is a reciprocal relationship. They're not doing this because they love us. They give us deals on, they billions, hundreds of billions in foreign investment in the United States, all this. But in exchange, we promised to protect them, and we didn't. That's right.
And in fact, there's reports, and I think they're credible. In fact, the Saudi official was complaining about this 2 days ago. Basically, whatever air defense systems were in these Arab countries were sent over to Israel.
Yeah.
And they actually left our own bases and people vulnerable. Our own government did, to protect Israeli targets rather than to protect our men and women in uniform.
Do you believe that's true? Do you believe the U.S. government prioritized Israel over our own troops?
If you had asked me this a year or two ago, I would have said no way. But after seeing that Huckabee interview, by the way, bravo. After seeing that Huckabee interview, I can't imagine how we didn't do that. I mean, it is very clear the United States is being led around the nose right now, by what should be its proxy. I mean, let's get it real. I mean, it should be, so.
They're the housekeeper. We're the homeowner. Like, what is this? I don't get it. No, I'm serious. I don't understand.
I agree. So I do believe, we probably did. And the worst part here, one of the worst parts is, I have a colleague who's in the Gulf states, and he sent me a picture, of the warning he got from the State Department to get out. And to cut to the chase, it basically said, you're on your own to get out. Like, we're not doing flights.
That's true.
And meanwhile, I hear that until 24 hours ago, the British government was evacuating their people, no questions asked. So you mean to tell me that the sole superpower is picking a fight with this missile city that is Iran, and we're not even going to provide exfiltration for our people? That's not an empire. That's not a superpower. That's a power in decline. That's what the Chinese see, by the way. And the Chinese think their time is at hand because we are committing national suicide with this insanity.
I wish I could disagree. It's one of the saddest things I've ever
wish
seen
I didn't have to say these things.
I totally agree. And you think of the men whose lives are going to be taken, Americans who are like the best people.
Already have been.
And you look at, I think the DoD's only released the hometowns of 4 of them, I think, but it's like Iowa, a couple from, it's like the best people we have.
These are our people.
Right? No private equity kids in that group, I notice.
That's right. That's right. And I just want to just say something, yes. and I probably shouldn't, but, I was, as I said, a very early supporter of Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. I thought his takes on hypersonics were good. I thought that he was a warfighter, so he understood in a way that maybe you and I could never understand. Right. But I was mortified by his press conference this morning, the glibness. 6 Americans are dead because of a political decision that was made. Obviously, I don't expect him to challenge the president on this publicly, but at the very least, it's a solemn day, and we should probably not be acting like this is just another walk in the park, because this is not. This is not. This is not going to plan. Now, hopefully we can pull it out of the fire, whatever that looks like. But right now, this is not going the way we were told it was going to go. And certainly not the way the president assumed it would go once Khamenei was whacked.
Breaking news. A Saudi official to Al Jazeera said America has abandoned us and focused its defense systems on protecting Israel, leaving the Gulf states that host its military bases at the mercy of Iranian missiles and drones. And to that I respond, what did you expect? America has loyalty to a certain entity, and the very reason why it works with you is only to advance the interests of that entity. It was a play that you could have seen a mile away. Just like if I'm walking down the street at night and I see a tight dress and 6-inch heels walking towards me, not going on the other street, staying on the same street as me, putting on lipstick, coming in my direction, getting closer, and asking me, you want to have some fun, honey? I saw it from a mile away. You should have saw it from a mile away. But it's a learning lesson, okay? It is a learning lesson. Now, Crown Prince MBS is calling on the Iranian envoy to speak things out. Let's see what happens. I am of the belief that we should not have any foreign bases in the Middle East, all right? We need to leave the Middle East as Americans to the Middle Easterners, and we need to focus on America first, America only. It is 6:55 a.m., March 2nd, 2026. Make sure to follow me for more updates.
But one thing that we need to learn here as Africans is we are hosting these bases in the name of protection. We cannot see clearly what is happening. These attacks were launched by these people on the soil of the Arabians. And per what the report is saying, these people are not even aware. They were not consulted that this is what they are going to do. So Africa, we have been telling our leaders that these bases that are here are not there to serve our interests. Now, Iran has declared infrastructure war. They are targeting everything. Nothing is left out. And if care is not taken, like they said, as things expand, they expand like everything will be included. And things are getting worse day in, day out. And we, the Africans, this is the time for us to learn our lessons. The Gulf allies, they have been allies, they have been supporting the United States of America. They are the wealthiest friends of the United States of America for years. Only for this thing to happen, and they now find themselves in a soup they never asked for. And now they are left on their own to waste the money they have never budgeted to set themselves free, because Iran is a wounded lion and Iran is going after every nation. There is no nation they are leaving out, because they believe that according to them, all these nations are not innocent as long as they hold the basis of these people and they are using their soil to attack them. So we need to learn as well in Africa. Iran is not backing down. We are seeing the attacks, how things are being destroyed, both in the Gulf states and then in Tel Aviv. According to reports, they have even struck into the center of Tel Aviv. Things that they believe that Iranian missiles couldn't penetrate, they are penetrating. When the war began, what they did was, according to report, they were using the old missiles they developed decades ago. That was why we saw the interception from these people. But now they are using the modern one. Even according to one of them that I listened to, they have not even started using the ones that they did recently. Because with that one, I think it's going to be disastrous. So Africans, this is the time. We should understand that there's nobody that will come to our aid to help us. Just today that nothing has happened and the bases are here, we believe that they are partners and they will be there to protect us. But when the fire drops, these people will pack their bags and leave us burn, just like they are doing in the Middle East. Nobody thought that a day like this will ever come. So the people are now crying for help and they are angry and they are right to also voice out their frustration, because I was never told that this is going to happen, only for you to bring me this and then you turn your back on me. So we need to build our own defense. We need to understand that a borrowed garment can never keep you warm. We need to make sure we empower ourselves. This is not the time for us to sit down and watch Iran do this and be talking, only for us to also wait for 4 decades to come and something will happen and we will still be in the same soup, because Africa was talking when Iran was sanctioned 4 decades ago. Today, Iran has empowered itself. Africa is still sitting here with nothing, believing that people must come here to protect us. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, Middle East, and in the Gulf states.